Right, so we are now live. So audio's on.
Hello world.
So yeah, that was Shannon Mac, and this is Jazzcat as per usual. So hello everybody, and we are now live. Oh, hang on, I've got to try a new. Turn that off. I've got to just do the old social media stuff.
Okay.
Because I've just set this up, so I don't know how well this will work. Because basically you can, I've been setting up various different sorts of embed. So basically the live streams are embedded in various places so that people don't necessarily have to keep coming to Twitch to watch it. They can just, wherever they are, if the stream is available, they can just watch it wherever they are. But you have to, for Twitter, you have to authorize what's called a card. And it does that by essentially you have to upload the card, some HTML, to a page that you own, which then allows you to drop that into Twitter, and it'll play this stream in Twitter. But it takes a bit of doing to get set up. Keeps giving me a chat message. So we've got in chat, we have Frenzy, well, you're there obviously, Brig, Hot Rod, Liana, and, well, that's it. So that's the usual cohorts.
Hello everyone. Ready to mesh.
Yep, and lots of other people watching. Lurkers.
You don't see the names of the lurkers, you just see have the numbers.
Yeah, you just see the number, yeah.
Okay. That's a good way to stay anonymous or hidden, I suppose.
Is DJ here? DJ Deb. Right, okay, so so continuing on from, where were we last time? So we'd got to the letter, we were starting to UV map.
Yes.
And I think we decided on a method whereby you took a screenshot of the letter. Let me just bring up the image. You took a.
But then we realized it was easier for you to grab a shot.
Yeah.
Instead of me.
Yeah. Where's the image gone? This is the trouble with working on so many projects. When you actually need to find something specific that's not related on to the project you're actually currently working on, it becomes difficult. Oh, there it is. To find it. That's the wrong one. Nope. Right, so yes, we had got to the point where we were starting to UV unwrap the shape. Oh, we've got some serious lurkers. So we started. So basically, what we were doing, instead of doing in the last session, we were talking about how we should at least attempt to UV unwrap objects properly. especially when the things are going to be derived by other people, because you can take shortcuts and you can do, you know, X, Y, and Z, but it doesn't necessarily make the deriver's job easier. So what we're doing is splitting up the letters into sections. So what we'd end up having is, let me just bring up the oh, now I have to find the file. Text test. That's what it was called.
I hear you.
Nope, wasn't that one. I'm sure I saved it. Is it Valentine's? No. Oh.
You forgot amazing.
Yeah, expletive. I can't remember what the file name was called. Oh well, not to worry. I'll do a. So, well, just use the one that we've got out on screen. So what we're doing is unwrapping the object so that we have each letter broken down into segments. So we have a front face. I have to do a this is just quick. So we'd end up with a front face, a side, and then a back face UV map. And what that basically does is it makes it much easier for derivation. The quick and cheap way is the way that we did it with the bug text, which open. Oh, it's Bugley's. There we go. That's the word. Yeah. So we want to actually avoid. So this is a bit of a recap. So we actually want to avoid doing this, because what that does to the UV is that, whoops, it basically makes it, it's based on a front-facing projection. Problem with that is it causes all sorts of problems for texture artists, because it causes stretching and bleed for the sides that you can't address without doing a bit of smushing to the texture. So we want to avoid that, and we avoid that by making sure that we unwrap the sides and the front and the back face of the object. We unwrap those so that they're separate elements. So that's as far as we were starting to get to, which is where we had you select the outer edges of the letter shape, and then we marked a seam, and this will help to separate the UV map later on when we come to unwrap it properly. So we should probably continue from that point. So if you share your screen.
Okay, give me just a moment.
Yep.
Here we go.
Right. Whoops. Right, so what we've got on screen now is Shannon's letter L. What? Whose fault? What? Hang on. Friends, they're saying something in chat. Oh, yes. No, Laura's not here today. She's been...
She was pulled into a meeting.
press ganged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Though she did make an appearance for Flash Mob earlier today.
Yeah, priorities, eh?
Comrade.
Yeah. Yeah, so no Laura today. She is, being the creator advocate, she's busy with a lot of stuff to do with creators and the photo stream and flash mob and a lot of other stuff to do with what you see on the social media stuff. So that's why she sometimes is preoccupied with that. So let's carry on with this letter L. So if you just go into edit mode.
All right, edit mode.
And then the button, the little circle button that's directly below where your mouse cursor is right now, the one with the sphere, that's it, with the red and white sphere.
Here?
To the
That's
left
red.
a bit more to the left. Next one.
There. This is red and white. Here we go.
If you click that and select wireframe.
Here we go.
Yeah, we can see, press the A key.
Okay.
Right, we can see that's the UV seams that you marked out. So what that's done is it's isolated that face of the letter as we are looking at it from the rest of it. So we now need to rotate the letter around so we're facing the back, and we need to repeat that process.
Okay.
So if you just rotate using the mouse and just rotate so that you can see the back side. That's it. Right, pause there. I will take a screen grab of this and I will draw. Oh, if you switch to click that same button again that's now showing the wireframe that you just clicked before.
Here?
Yeah, and switch to solid mode. So click that and select solid.
Here we go.
Right, so I'm just going to take a quick screen grab of that and then...
Okay. You're going to ping it to me on Hangouts?
Well, I can do it on screen, and if you have...
That makes more sense in hindsight.
Yeah. Just resize this. Right, so you should be able, you can see that okay?
Hold on, let me pull it over. I have 85 tabs open.
Oh no, not again.
Just had to make sure I was in the right area. Hey, there's Evelyn. Okay. It's spinning.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's Twitch doing that. It's not us. So blame Twitch for any network issues.
Well, I don't see it yet. But
right,
maybe.
So what we need you to do is similar to what we did before. Oh, I see.
I see it, but I don't see the yellow outline.
Yeah, not yet. I've not drawn it. It's my computer is so slow. I need to update it. Right. So what we need you to do is, as before, just work your way around the mesh and select the outline or the outer edge.
So I don't know if it's like this for the other users, but it's like
Yes,
it's
it is.
spinning and then.
Yes, it is. It's doing that.
Okay. Unfortunate. This might be why you pinged it to me last time. Now that I think of it.
Yeah.
Because there was a definite lag and stuttering, and so you just did Hangouts, from what I recall.
Oh, you should be seeing it now.
Ah, there we go. Yes, it's starting to show. Gradually.
Yeah.
Ah, there we go. It's almost 3/4 of the way through. There we go. All right, I get the outline.
Yeah, so we need you to do that essentially. So that is going to be, so you right click one of the edges.
All right, so just as an FYI, I've mid-sized the screen.
Okay.
Does that make it look bad to you guys? No? Yes? Maybe?
Say that again, sorry?
I've mid-sized the screen. I'm just curious if this is creating an issue for people viewing it.
Well, we're not. So
happening?
are you? Is that showing the full? Is that full screen?
No, it shouldn't be.
Yeah, it's just a sort of it's almost a square.
Let me stop sharing for a second, and
Yeah.
then I'll back up because it was
Oops.
issues.
Warn me before you do that because it shows the stream URL.
Oh, okay. Oops.
We wouldn't want anyone from chat suddenly joining.
All right, so ready for me to share?
Yep.
All right. Okay.
Ah, there
Ready?
we go. Whoops. Yeah, Frenzy. Shannon was just he was just displaying a reduced screen from his computer. So that'll be why you couldn't see everything. But we've just fixed that by resorting the reconnecting. Right, so yeah, so with your letter L now, so just right click, select one of the edges and work your way around as per the outline. So remember to shift right click. So you right click one edge and then shift right click.
Did I hit something by accident there?
Yeah, so right click that edge again and it'll deselect. There you go.
Okay, there we go. Am I doing this right?
Yep.
Okay. Don't want that.
It looks like, actually, it looks like that edge. If you just press the G key now and move your mouse. Yeah, so just right click to reset.
Okay.
So this is something that we need to keep in mind. Depending on the font that you've used. When you convert the font into a mesh object, it does it in a way that's optimized relative to the shape that it's trying to create. And what that's done is it looks like it's created so that the bar that's running across the top, when you consider the shape as a letter, the bar that's running across the top is a separate object to the rest of the letter. So it means when you select that, when you're trying to select, hang on, let me just bring up the image.
So should I stop sharing?
No,
Or
no,
are we good?
it's fine. It's fine because it just, you know, it displays whatever's on my screen. So let me undo that. Whee! Oh no, didn't go far enough. So what it's doing is this. So you'll have to, whoops, you'll have to wait for this to catch up on. That's what you get for not watching what you're doing. Oh, and the mouse control.
Yeah.
So what it's doing is that, which is the top is a separate object to the bottom. So when you're trying to select the edge that's here,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see this when it catches up with stream. What you're actually doing is selecting this entire edge along here, because this edge is part of this object. So that's something that we need to keep in mind later on when we do the unwrap, because what this will likely do is detach this top section from the rest of the letter down below. So we have to keep that in mind. So let me just undo that. Right, so our stream is having some real trouble tonight. Let me close some programs, see if that helps. I've pretty much got open what I need open. Unless Microsoft Scanner is working in the background again. It's not, okay. Right, so continue with the selection. So we need you to select, I'll just draw it on the screen again.
Okay.
And what you might need to do as well is just move or rotate the mouse at the scene around so that you can make better selections. So that's what we need you to do, which should show up sometime in the future on the stream.
I just see the yellow highlight on the very top.
It's I've literally just finished doing the whole outline, so that's still showing. That's quite a delay.
Yeah.
I mean, the stream health looks okay.
Yeah, if I didn't know better, I would wonder if you're downloading something on your end, or
Yep, no,
but it's more
everything's
likely Twitch.
Yep, everything's fine.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's related to the number of users that watch.
How many are watching?
Well, I mean, it's 20 right now, 23, 22. But I have noticed that whenever the numbers go up, the performance of the stream goes down, which makes me wonder how on earth do, game streamers, how on earth do they manage to have hundreds of people watching them at the same time?
Yeah, I don't know how much of an issue that would be. I mean, maybe Twitch is having some tech difficulties. It's hard to say. The whole L at least has outlined in yellow now.
Yeah.
So I see that.
Yeah, so that's what we need you to do. So, right, so we're now showing your screen. So right click one of the edges and then shift right click the rest of them. That's it, and then work down to the other bottom half. That's it, perfect. Right, and from the mesh menu, bottom left, on the left, that's it. Left click, we want edges. And then mark seam towards the top. That's it.
Okay.
If you press the Z key, we can toggle into wireframe and we can see what you've just done.
Okay.
So if you just rotate around the mesh just to see what you've actually just been doing. Whoops.
Oops,
Middle click.
holding it.
Yeah, so right click to reset that. Just, yeah, and then middle click. That's it.
I thought it was on my PC regular controls.
Yeah, not to worry.
Okay.
Somebody just asked a question. What's the question?
Answer's 42, right?
No sneaky updates. Well, yes, that's the ultimate question. Oh, it's chat. Chat's still sort of catching up to the stream, I guess.
Okay.
So right, so yes, so that's what we've just been doing. So what we need to do now is just add. So if you rotate your view around so that you're looking at the side.
This side?
Yes, that side. Right. So select that bottom edge.
Right here?
Yep, just right click.
Okay.
Just right click on its own. You don't need to shift right click for that. That's it.
Okay.
And then mesh menu. Edges. And then mark sharp again. Mark seam, sorry.
Lock seam.
Next up a bit.
I got a pop up blocking that.
Oh, right.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Redo it. Because I got the zoom control.
The joys of computers and edges.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's on okay, so mark seam, right?
Yeah, mark seam.
Okay. All right, done.
Right, so what that's done is that it's essentially split the mesh or split the UVs at that point. So when we get to unwrapping this, it'll lay that edge loop of faces out as a flat strip as opposed to sections. And we might need to do this for the top as well. So if you just select one of the edges for the very top of the mesh.
Here?
Yeah, it doesn't matter which one.
Okay.
Right, and do the same thing again. Mesh, edges, mark seam.
Okay.
Right, so press the A key just to deselect everything.
Okay.
And then just rotate around rotate the scene around so that we can see what we've got. And yes, as suspected, that top section is a separate mesh element. Right, so what you want to do now is press the A key and select everything.
Control Shift A?
No, it's just the A key.
Oh, okay.
Do that again, press the A key, that's it. Change the layout, so that's that drop down, if you remember, in the top, the bar that's running across the top of the application. You've got those drop down boxes right at the very top. One of them says default on the left.
Oh, on the left, okay. Oh, right,
right along the top, it's running along the top. It says file, that's it. So click the little button that looks like a window frame to your, that's it. And we want UV editing.
There we go.
Right, so we've now got the screen split in two. So we've got the UV image editor on one side, which is on the left, and then we've got the 3D view on the right, which is showing the object in the 3D view, and it's textured. So we've got everything selected. So what we can do now is if you move the mouse over to the left-hand side and press the E key, that's unwrapped it. So if you press the A key now whilst your mouse is over the image editor, that's the UV map.
Ah, okay.
And it looks a little bit wonky for some reason. So it looks like... It looks like the L, the side of the L hasn't unwrapped properly. So in the 3D view, so move the mouse over to the 3D view. Go down to the bottom left where it says View menu. Yep, click that. View selected. Towards the top. There we go.
I have to move this zoom thing again. It's a little irritating there. Anyway, view selected. There we go. All right.
Right, so rotate the scene around so that we can see how that's actually unwrapped. So it's done the sides okay.
That looks very different.
Yeah, but it hasn't done those.
Or down here, yeah.
And it's done the top section okay, but it hasn't done the sides.
Yeah. Two of the sides are almost blank.
Yeah, right. So what we'll have to do with this then is do a slightly different approach. Right, so looking at it from side on, or front on, I should say. Well, which is the side of the... Yeah, so front on as a letter. Right-click one of the faces. Are we in face select? No, we have to switch to face select mode. So that's the three buttons bottom right.
Three buttons bottom right.
To the right. Keep going. Those three. That's it. You want the one with the face, the square.
This one?
Yep, so click that.
Click the face, okay.
And then right-click any one of the faces that we're looking at now. And then shift right-click the remainder of that front section. Shift right-click. Oh, hang on. That's selecting the back of the mesh.
Yeah.
Right, the button that's bottom right, the very right of the screen. That one, the one with the dots on it. The white dots.
Dot? This one?
Yeah, click that.
Okay.
Right, that disables back face selection.
Oh.
So you can't... Right, so now press the A key to clear the selection that we were just making. Now reselect something. So right-click one of those faces.
Okay.
And then shift right-click the rest of the bottom of the letter L.
Right. I'm doing these lower parts here that we outlined. Is that...
Yeah, that's fine. That's what we need.
Guess that's selected. Okay. Now you get up here, right?
No, don't.
Really.
No, we just need the bottom half.
So I need here.
Yeah, that's selected. Now do that. Right-click that corner. That's it.
Okay, that's selected.
Yep. Move the mouse over to the left side with the image editor.
Image editor. Okay.
Yep. And press the E key.
Okay. Ah, there we go. That looks more appropriate.
Yeah. Right. So what you can do here then is, I'm not quite sure why that's... I'd have to actually physically look at the mesh to see what's going on there. Because yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on there, because what we've done is we've marked
Email you the file?
Oh, you can do. So if you save the file now as it is.
Yeah. mean, I could email this to you if that helps.
Yes, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, you could do it live. Do it live. Cursive.
Do it live?
Yeah, like Bill
Show me
O'Reilly.
sending the email, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
We'll do a Bill O'Reilly.
Okay, so you want me to email it to you?
Yes, just email it to me, and then I'll take a look at it here.
I'm going to stop sharing for a moment here,
Right,
or actually, I don't need that.
Right. Okay. Yep. You're
Right,
clear.
I'll stop sharing now. All right, give me just a moment here.
So, folks,
We need elevator music.
yeah, this is what happens: is that something that should be relatively straightforward isn't, because reasons. The process constantly throws up these issues that often need deeper inspection. So we can do these. We can do sessions like this live until the cows come home. But the problem is that these processes often take more time and thinking than you can put across in, a 1 hour or 2 hour session, because problems like this crop up. And for someone like Shannon, or any of you that's not used to using Blender, you can get completely stuck for hours. So the quickest way in this instance is for Shannon just to save the file, send it to me, and I can take a look at it and see what's going on. But for you watching in chat, that's not always going to be something that's available. So, empathies and sympathies. Who is... Frenzy doesn't know who Bill O'Reilly is? Frenzy, all I can say is YouTube Bill O'Reilly do it live, and you'll get it's a meme, basically. So if anybody's got any elevator music, now would be a good time to play it. But as I was saying, yes, something that should be relatively straightforward to teach, to use that word, or to help somebody learn, you hit these stumbling blocks. And of course, trying to diagnose the problem remotely is just not going to happen. It's just impossible. Because you're then trying to instruct somebody that's new to using an application how to do something that you would be doing in order to diagnose what the problem is. And of course, anybody that's done any technical support knows that that's, it's very, 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 very difficult, if not frustrating.
I'm going to need some direction here on pulling the file up, because this is the mesh is not in the place I would think it would be in.
So have you set?
How do I locate it?
If you, with Blender open, if you go into, if you just do File Save As again, you'll be able to see where the file is being saved.
Okay, I will do that. Continue here. Elevator music, please.
Yes,
sorry for
elevator
the
music. Yeah, jazz. While Frenzy, living a sheltered life has its advantages. And yes, Brig, even the stumbling blocks. Yes, so, this isn't necessarily a problem, a catastrophic interruption into the workflow. This obviously highlights the issues that you can encounter with even doing something as simple as this. So we've already got some text, we've converted it to a mesh, but in converting it, we haven't created any problems, but the way that, and this is probably universal to all sorts of 3D applications, depending on how they deal with text, or the conversion of vector or point-based objects into destructible meshes, which is what we've essentially done. We've taken a vector and converted it into an object that can be destroyed. That's edited, but it can be destroyed. But in doing that, it's created some potential issues that we need to. Well, Shannon now needs to send me the file once he's got that sorted out.
It's sent.
Sent.
I
Excellent.
sent it half a minute ago.
All right. Okay.
But I know there's a slow upload, so.
Yeah. Eastland said the solution to all problems is turning it off and switching it back on again.
That's a pretty good IT solution.
Yeah, this video casting uses up a lot of resources. And it literally slows. I mean, that's the funny thing about doing the Twitch stuff, is that, you can just stream your desktop, but if you want to interact with other people, you have to have a browser open. If you have a browser open, that's taking up a good chunk of your active memory, which you need for image processing for the video stream.
Get the file yet?
Sorry about that. I think my computer just literally locked up on me completely.
Oh, you're gonna have to do a hard reboot?
No. It locked up, but just froze.
Okay.
But
What are your specs?
embarrassing.
Or you don't want to share that?
Embarrassing. They are embarrassing.
That's private. Just say that's private.
No. It is, drum roll please, an i3 2330. That's the CPU.
What?
So it's second generation i3. They're now up to 8, is it now? Is it 8 or 9?
Wow.
So, yeah.
You could someday you could offer that up in the Silicon Valley Museum, right?
Yeah, very much so. Very much so.
Yeah, they might say, "Wow, we didn't know these still existed and were operational. We'll buy it from you."
I mean, the thing is, it's pretty solid. He says, knock on wood, or touch wood. Oh, there we go. Amazing Valentines, right. So drag and drop. So that's one of the good things about Blender, is that I can drag that file directly from the email that you sent it through into Blender and it opens. Right, so let's have a look at this and see what's going on then.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is just select the two faces of the upright of the arm, of the letter. I'm just going to press the G key and move that just to see how this thing is constructed.
Okay.
Right, so that's interesting because it looks like...
I see the bug thing right now, that it's reddish. Is
Yeah,
that right?
it's the stream hasn't updated yet.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Holy Toledo, that is a slow delay. Right,
I am
so...
still seeing the red bug on the screen, but maybe I need to refresh.
No, it should be seeing it now.
Okay. Okay. No, I'm seeing it. I did a refresh.
Right, so it looks like this problem is being caused by... We assumed that this top section was a separate element because of the way that when you selected that edge, it was selecting right across the top there. But that top section is actually attached to the bottom bit. But you can't you can't see that connection because of the way that the object is essentially constructed. So what we should have been seeing, I'll just do it on this side.
Spinning again.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, I'll keep gabbing and then it'll catch up, I guess. I mean, that's all we can do.
Okay.
I mean, you and I could screen share via Zoom so that you can see what I'm doing live.
It just looks like it came back just now. You're moving
Right,
your
okay.
mouse. See it?
So what we should be seeing, which we're not, because of the way that the object has been constructed or deconstructed, what we should have seen is this. We just switch back to the default view so this makes this easier to see.
Okay.
What we should have seen is this. Oh, have to wait for the stream to catch up again. Actually, I wonder if it might be better to... Let me try this. Because that doing it this way introduces a double delay. So I'm trying to tell you something whilst you're watching the stream, but you're responding to the stream whilst I'm... So there's
right. I see it on Zoom now.
Right. So what we should have been seeing is this. Which then means that there's a connection, a hard physical connection between this face and this face. But what we're seeing is this. And the way that that's been constructed or converted, we've got these extra faces. So that's what's causing the problem with the UV map. So with something like this, we would have to physically, well, you could fudge it, but you're then having to deal with these extra faces. And that, it doesn't necessarily complicate so much as it puts additional UVs into position in a way that you're not expecting. So it doesn't work, or it's not doing what you expect it to do. So if these were if this were your own project, it'd be fine. As a derivable, you have to fix these types of issues. Otherwise, it causes problems for other people when they try and derive. So,
what way more people derive?
Sorry?
Because is that why a lot more people derive, because it requires less time?
Yes.
Than...
Basically, yes. In a nutshell, when people look at, so for example, if someone looked at this and saw that the UV map looked like, let's say for the sake of argument, the UV map looked like the selection that I've actually got active right now. So if it looked like that, but the mesh looked like that, they would find out that there's a problem somewhere when they derived and, well, not published, but when they edited the product and put it together in create mode, they would look at this and think, well, why is it doing that? What's going on? I don't understand why I need to do that or create a texture relative to that type of an unwrap, but that's what's actually needed. So, you know, if there are any doubts in the sense that they don't know what's going on with the mesh, they'll just ditch it, and that's you know, I mean, that's no fault or no you know, it's not a criticism of them. It's just that, you know, when they're deriving from something, it has to be easy or relatively easy so that they understand what they're doing. And which makes it easy as a process. Any stumbling blocks, and they're going to think that there's an issue with what they're doing instead of something that's actually wrong with the mesh. So it's always a good idea to try and fix these types of errors. And luckily, this is a relatively straightforward issue to fix, because all we need to do is delete these faces. Not when it's actually, we don't have to distort the mesh, but we just delete these faces by selecting a couple of errant edges and then rebuilding this top section. And it's pretty simple to do, actually. So if I stop sharing,
you're going to show me your masterful directions to fix this issue?
well, what I'll do is I'll just reload this, and then we'll go through the process of actually fixing it again so that you can actually see properly live. Right, so
Right.
Yeah.
So
so if you basically everyone in chat is essentially saying that yes, if they are deriving from something and the UV maps look odd relative to what they're deriving, then they'll just not bother with it. They'll generally just go, unless it's an item that you know that looks really cool. Generally, they'll go through the effort of doing it. But if it's more effort than it's worth, they'll just find another one, or you know, a different mesh. And it's not because, sorry?
There's a lot of choices too.
Yes, yeah. So to fix this, so I don't know how well this will come through via Zoom. But if I select all the faces, can you see that there's these two little dots? Can you see where my mouse cursor is?
Yes.
There's a dot there, and there's another one here. Don't know if you can see those.
Yep, I can see them.
Yeah. Those are the two errant faces. We need to remove those. So this may be the easiest way to probably do this is to switch to Edge Select, and we can select the edges, just right click, and it will select right across that top section, which indicates that the errant edge, one of them, is at least selected. And then all we need to do is press the X key, X for Xavier, and then delete the edge, and it'll do this. So it'll a section of the mesh will disappear. And then we want to double check. See, now there's another edge that we need to select here, because that starts at this corner and it overshoots and it goes all the way to the end. So this indicates that this is an errant edge that we need to remove as well. So we right click select and press the X key again, delete that edge, and we just double check that we then are left with exactly what we need, which is edge on the right, edge on the left, and an edge in the middle. And then once we have that, we can fix the gap by right clicking one edge, shift right click, so we have two edges of what will be a triangle, and then we press the F key and that fills that gap. And we do the same with these two, and it'll fill the entire face. In fact, actually, undo that. Better way to do this will be literally just to delete the face so that we clear that, so that we're essentially reconstructing the entire object. And you just select and then F and fill, and we've got our shape back. And that's what we should be seeing. So let's try that. So I shall stop sharing and then we shall switch to you.
All right.
So this, what we're about to do, is going to be your first real challenge as a mesher.
Okay. No pressure.
No pressure. Right, so if you switch to the default view first, so you know where we up the bar that runs along the top where it says UV editing, all the way up to the top.
Up. Okay.
Yeah, click the window button and switch to default.
Okay.
And then just press the Z key. That switches us to solid mode from wireframe. And just maneuver yourself in closer so that you can see that top section. So that's obviously middle mouse and then shift and control to zoom. Right, that'll do. Perfect.
Okay.
Switch to edge select mode. So that's those three buttons in the... That's to your left where your mouse is now, to the left. Not that far. To the right of global.
Right. Oh, these.
Yes, those are your mode selections. So you want the middle one, which is edge select.
Huh?
Now right click the edge where the upright of the letter L joins the cross section of the T.
Here?
Hang on. I wonder if it might be easier to do a screenshot again.
Ah, okay.
So
Should I stop sharing?
No, it's fine.
This will be on Twitch.
Yep. Oh, it's actually catching up to us properly now. Yes, so you want to right click this edge.
Okay. Oh, you did face select. I think I did the middle one there. So, okay, no, we do want that. Good. Edge select.
Right, hang on. Yeah, it should be showing up on stream. It should be showing. Ooh, crikey. That is a delay. Yes, so shortcut for switching selection mode is Control Tab. Holy Toledo, that is quite a long delay.
Yeah. Twitch is denying us the creation of a masterpiece.
Yeah.
We should write a complaint
Yeah.
email to them and have everybody here sign it.
Yeah, it's joining Facebook, Twitter, and Google in filtering content.
We found this L to break the terms of service.
Yeah, we don't want people loving here. Right, so can you see that highlight?
Yes.
Right, so you want to select that edge.
Where I was touching it. Yeah,
Sorry?
I think I was in the right spot, it looked like.
Yes,
but maybe not.
it just needed to be further up. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Shall I give it a whirl?
Yep, so continue, right click.
This is just right click, correct?
Yeah, just a single right click.
How's that?
That's it. Now, can you see that your
looking for the dot.
No, that's fine. That's exactly what we need. You can tell that it's done that because can you see where the widget, the 3D widget is, which is the red, green, and blue handle? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the middle of that selection. So you can judge whether you've made the proper selection based on the position of that object on screen, the widget. So you've made the right selection, so that's good. So now press the X key, X for Xavier, and select edges. That's it, and it's disappeared that. So right click that top edge that we now see that's clear, the top of the upright of the L.
Here?
In front, the bottom, below. That's it.
Yeah, the spot, right? Okay. Right click.
Not the back, the front of the L.
Oh.
No, not the front of the mesh. What the face that you're looking at, the bit that you've just removed, if you click the bottom edge that's running along what is now a gap.
So this is the bottom edge of the blackish.
That's it. Right click there.
All right.
Right, so move the mouse to your right a bit to the end segment that you can see.
Okay.
And right click.
Just anywhere right click?
To your right, keep going. Keep going a bit further. That's it, stop there, right click.
Okay.
Right. Now, this is, can you see what we've done here? Made another selection, and the length of that selection is indicated by the position of the widget. The widget is in the middle of that edge selection, not the middle of the face of the upright. So that's the edge that we actually wanted to select, not the one that you had before, because that was the top of the upright of the L. So we want to press the X key now just to delete this.
Okay.
Edges again.
Edges. Okay.
Yep. Now right click the edge that's directly so right click that.
Okay.
Move along to your left. Just right click that edge. That's it. Fine. And move all the way to the left. Right click that edge. And that's perfect. Right, we need to switch mode now, so you can use the shortcut keys this time, which is Control Alt, not Control Alt, Control Tab.
Control Tab.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. Switch to face.
Okay.
And then select that remaining face that's left.
That remaining face that is left.
The one that's in the top section.
Here.
To the left.
To the left.
That okay, where your mouse is now, yeah. So right click.
Okay.
Press X.
All right.
And then delete face.
Oh, okay. Delete face.
Yep.
Dissolve face, you mean? Wait, is there a delete?
Faces, sorry.
Okay. All right.
Excellent. And that's cleared the gap.
Should we save this or not yet?
Yes, you can do actually, yes. Yeah.
Saved version 13, a lucky number.
Right, so we might as well do the other side of the object whilst we're doing this. So if you rotate around.
Okay.
Let's try doing it a slightly different way this time. Right click one of the faces of that top section that you can see that we're looking directly at. Yeah, so right click, shift right click the other one, the lower triangle.
Okay.
Press the X key. Faces. Now switch to edge select, so that's Control Tab. Edges or edge.
Okay.
Now we need to repeat the selection of the edge along the top of that open. The gap where, well, yeah, just below where your mouse is now. Down below.
This part, right?
No, the face that we're looking at, the side that we're looking at. Yeah, so that side. So you want to select the edges at the top of that upright.
Are we talking about?
Yep. So where your mouse is running along now. So right click.
Right.
Yep, that's perfect. Delete. So press the X key.
Oh, X. Okay.
Edges.
Okay.
And click that area again just to double check. Move the mouse to the. Whoops.
I hit tab by accident.
Yeah. Tab.
Control Z.
Yeah. No. Tab again. Tab. Press the tab key again.
Tab. Okay.
That's the shortcut to enter and exit edit mode. Is the tab key.
Ah. Okay.
Right. So move the mouse to the left. Right click there.
Okay.
Move the mouse all the way to the right. And right click there.
Huh?
Just right click again where you are.
Okay.
Excellent. So that's cleared that. So deleting those two faces has essentially removed the other errant surface that was there. Right. So we can now fill this gap. So with that face, that edge selected, shift right click the one that's the edge on the right there that you can see that's yeah, that's the one. Yeah, so shift right click, press the F. No, don't need to do that. So that's it, perfect. Move to the other side, the left hand side, and do the same thing. So right click, shift right click the bottom of that, press the F key.
Ah, there we go.
Perfect. Now select that diagonal of that face that you've just created. Right click. And then select the edge, shift right click the other diagonal of the edge that you created from the face before. So move across to the right.
Mm-hmm.
And select the
Tab.
No, right click just to deselect that edge. Yeah, so that's it. Right click, and then you'll need to select the edge, the diagonal edge on the other face that you created. So move the mouse over to the left. Not all the way to the left. You want the diagonal That's it.
This one here?
Yep, shift right click.
Shift right.
Yep. And then
there we
press F.
Okay. There we
Perfect.
go.
Rotate around to the other side, so middle mouse. And repeat the process that you just did. So you want to create the triangles in the corners first, and then fill the gap between the two triangles. So if you right click one of the, right click and then shift right click.
Over here, shift right click?
No, the corresponding corner, bottom edge.
There we go. That's right.
That's it. F.
And F.
Move across to the left, or the right rather. Right click, shift right click, F. And then select the two diagonals.
No, I think I have to shift.
That's it.
Yep.
You want the diagonal edge, not the outside edges. Yeah, so that that edge on that side and the same edge on the other side. So shift right click.
That's what happened. I didn't shift right click. I just right clicked. There we go.
F.
There we go. All right.
Right. So now that we've got that done, we need to double check that we have textures assigned to those. So press the A key. Press the A key again.
Okay.
And switch the layout to UV editing mode. That's the mode selector at the top. Yeah. Click that. UV editing.
Okay.
And yes, it is. Brilliant. So we now need to re-establish the seams of those sides. So if we are in edge select mode. So in the 3D view on the right, you can switch the display mode to wireframe, and then what we can do is check to see the placement of the seams. So on the right hand side, right, go down to the bottom where it says edit mode. You want the button that's to the right of that.
This?
Yeah, click that, yeah. Wireframe. Press the A key just to deselect everything so we can see the mesh. And just rotate around the object so that we can see. Yeah, so we've got a couple of edges missing that need to be marked.
A couple of edges. How do you see that?
Well, they're the ones that aren't highlighted with the orange highlight.
Okay.
So as you're looking at that,
right?
No, not the diagonals. We want to separate the sides from, or the front and the back of the letter from the sides.
Oh, okay.
So as you're looking at that object, in order to do that, I mean, if you imagine that is a loaf of bread, right? And you want to cut the two crusty endy bits off, you have to make a cut at the ends of the loaf of bread. If you don't make that cut complete, you're not cutting the crusty bits off the loaf of bread. So the analogy is that the edges that we've marked are essentially a knife cut, cutting the crusty bits off the end of a loaf of bread. Okay. So you have to look at the highlights that we've made to make sure that they are contiguous, that they follow all the way around the shape of the letter. So if you pause rotating around the scene at the moment, if you look at the upper section of the T, the crossbar, you'll see that there's an edge missing that's not selected, that's not highlighted.
Okay. Right there?
On the outside edge, that corner, that small corner edge. Yeah, so where your mouse is there, that's it. Right click. So if you rotate the scene now with that edge selected, you'll see how that fits in relation to the entire loop around the object. And with that not marked, it basically means that you've still got the crusty bit on that side of the loaf of bread attached to the loaf of bread.
Okay.
So you need to mark that edge in order for the crusty bit at the end of the loaf of bread to come off completely. So in the mesh menu down below,
Mesh menu down below. Yes.
edges, and we want mark seam.
Okay.
And that's changed to an orange highlight, which now means that that edge or that loop is complete. So if that were a loaf of bread, you could now cut the crusty end of the loaf of bread off. So rotate around to the other side to make sure that that's the same on the other side. Yeah, crusty bits.
Okay.
And yes, select the edge that you were just about to select because you saw it.
Yeah.
So right click. That's it. And then go down to the mesh menu again. Edges. Mark seam. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, so if you press the A key now, and again.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah, press it again. So that's selected everything. And move the mouse over to the left, the UV image editor. And then press the E key, E for Edward.
Did that?
That's done something. It looks like it's detached. So it looks like we've still got an edge in place that needs to be removed. So on the right in the 3D view, don't rotate the scene. Leave it as we're looking at it. So right click the edge that's running along where the, I don't know what the components of these letters are called. What's the bit that runs across the top called versus the upright of the, you know, it's it would make it so much easier to know what the names of these things are called. Right, so we've got the cap and then we've got the upright of the letter. Where those two join, there's an edge that we need to select. Yeah, so if you move the mouse inwards a little bit more.
Just let me know when.
Not along the front, along the not along the sides, along the front face that we're looking at.
Ah, here.
That's it. Yeah, so right click there.
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now press the G key and just move your mouse. Right, okay, so that's, we need to select a different edge. So right click, just to reset. Leave the mouse where it is and just right click again.
Okay.
Press the G key and move the mouse. Yeah, it's that edge that we needed to remove. So we might need to reconstruct that face. So right click.
Okay.
Press the X key. And then edges.
Let's do that again. Edges. Okay.
Press the Z key. Oh no, that's okay. Press the A key. And in the tool shelf on the left, to your left, scroll down until you see that. You can just about see the remove doubles button. Click that.
Okay.
That didn't remove anything. Okay, so we might need to reconstruct that face. Okay, we need to test this. 3D view. Move the mouse over the 3D view. On the right.
Here?
On the right. To the right.
Oh,
Right hand side. The 3D view is on the right. The UV image editor is on the left.
Okay.
So right click one of the faces of the upright section.
Like there?
Yeah. Oh, hang on. We need to switch mode. So Control Tab.
Control Tab.
Yeah. Move the mouse over the 3D view. Control Tab. No, move the mouse over the 3D view and then press Control Tab.
That's there we go.
Yeah. Now select faces or face.
Okay.
And then right click one of those.
There we go.
Right. Press the G key and move the mouse.
Okay.
Do it again.
So the G key, moving the mouse.
No, that's the S key. You've scaled. Right
Okay.
click. Right click.
Okay.
Press Control Z.
Right.
Right. So do that. So right click one of those faces again.
Press G.
Press G and move the mouse.
Okay. Looks like it's moving.
Okay. Press right click just to reset.
Okay.
Rotate the scene around so we're looking at the other side of the letter L. So right click one of those uprights. Press the G key.
Okay.
And move the mouse.
Move that too.
Right, so right click.
Huh?
Press the Z key, switch to wireframe. Press the A key to deselect everything.
All right.
Okay, that's odd. A key, select everything.
Okay.
Move the mouse to the left over the UV image editor. Press the E key. Oh, there we go. That's fixed it. Right. So move the mouse back over the 3D view. And you want Alt Z. These are the shortcuts. I'm starting to get you to used to the shortcuts now to switch the mode. So there we go. That's what we were trying to do. So we went through all of that just to do that.
Yep. I don't think we're going to get to poses today, but
No.
we'll see.
Well, save the file. Save the file.
Yes, definitely save the file. Number 14 for February 14th, Valentine's. All right. And save. Okay.
So how much, you mentioned that you might have to leave.
I have a hard cutoff at 6 because I have to do some things that came up.
So how long have we got?
I've got 25 minutes left. I mean, if that's enough time, great. If we need to stop or do something.
Okay, that should be enough for this next bit.
Okay.
I wonder, in the same way that we're doing screenshots and me drawing lines, I wonder if you sending me these saved versions
will help.
Yeah, because what I can then do is, so if you save the file and then send it to me, I can then open it this end and go through the next steps, and it actually, it will be relative to what it is that you're actually doing, as opposed to me using a completely different font.
Right. Or going, wait, stop.
Yeah.
Okay, let me email that over to you. You can hum
Yeah,
use
so elevator music.
Okay, this is Amazing Valentine's Mesh 14, which is uploading and sending to you now.
Cool, X. I think I'm just going to try something with Twitter to see if this works. I don't know if it'll...
You'll probably have to put it up on Zoom for me in case it lags on your Twitch tutorial, I suspect. But
oh no,
yeah.
it's a link to. That's weird. Right. Okay. So, did you send it? Have you sent it? I'm doing a Laura. Did you send it?
A couple minutes ago, comrade. I mean, Jazz Cat.
Yeah. All right. Here it comes. Right. So, I'm just going to switch to for you and I, sharing screen so that you see immediately as we're talking.
Yeah. Got it.
Right, so so what we've got now, so we've got the letter. Oh, there's a space missing, so we'll need to double check that that's assigned an image. Yeah, so that's assigned the image. So we've got this white indicates that there's a missing texture there, but we've got the UVs selected.
Mm-hmm.
So all we need to do is in the UV image editor, this side, come down to the little picture icon, click that,
Okay.
and then reassign the texture. And as you can see, it just appears. But the next bit, I'm just going to press the N key. That'll get rid of the properties panel on the left here, on the right rather. What we need to do now is, now that we've got the UV, we need to make this friendly for our texture artists. So we change selection mode to island, which will allow us to select a complete section of the UV. And to make this easier, what we can do is just move these into the workspace. So we right click, press the G key, and then just move the mouse and it moves them into the workspace. And as I'm doing that, you might see that in the 3D view, the texture moves. But what this will mean now is that we can reorganize the UVs in a way that's going to be nice for our texture artists. So we want to rotate these sides so that they are upright. So we can hold the control key down for that to snap to the grid. We don't need to move them down there just yet. We just need to make them the right way up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's rotating them with the R key. Whoops. And then we can just press the G key with one of them selected and then move them into position. And what we can then do is we can either, well, we can do this if we want to, or let me think. So how big is that? Right, so if you look on the mesh on this side, now this is another thing that you have to think about with respect to texture artists. Now we could make the sides of this letter L, whoops, bigger, so that we use more texture space. That basically increases the detail of the texture, but doing that would cause an issue in terms of we use up space that we end up with an overlap. So if someone were to paint a ladybug in this top section, if someone were to paint a ladybug in the top here, it would also show in this section because that's overlapping this UV, and we want to avoid that. But we've also created potentially an additional problem by increasing the size of these front and back sides. If you look at the 3D view, you can see that the black checker is larger on the side as it is on the front and the back, and it'll be the same on the back. And conversely, this side, this being bigger, doesn't mean it's using more texture space, it's using less. So what we have to be careful of, with those two issues in mind, we have to be careful that I'm undoing all of this to get back to the... We want to try and keep, so if you look at the 3D view again, the checkers are all the same size. Let me just move that into where we can compare. The checkers are all the same size, which basically means that if someone were to do a ladybug or text on one and then do the same design or pattern on another element, they're all going to be the same size. But you're also allowing or facilitating the texture artist being able to match up their design, even though the UV map isn't lined up. So that would be, let me just, so optimally you would want that, something similar to that, because that would then mean that the person could paint a line across those two elements. So if you keep the size, if you keep the sizes all relative to one another, it means that even though the UVs aren't aligned, as per what I was just doing, they can do a line across this bottom section and it will continue across to this L section, assuming that those are two, they're part of the same thing, and they would be lined up, and they would line up, I should say, because they're both the same size and they're both proportioned to relative to each other. So those are a couple of things that you need to keep in mind when you're doing your texturing for texture artists. So we probably, we will probably end up doing something similar to that sort of a layout. I'll move it over the desktop so it's easier to see. We could, as I say, we could make some of these bigger, but in doing that we change the alignment relative to the rest of the UV map. So that's what we'll do next with this letter. So using the default, that's the default. That's the default layout, and we want to change that so that we end up with that. So I shall stop sharing, and then we should be able to do that within 25 minutes, he says. Famous last words.
Well, I got 14 minutes now.
Well, yeah, we've got
no pressure.
No pressure. Yeah.
Yeah. We may want to consider doing an extra day next week, I'm thinking, if we don't think we're going to make the cutoff by next Thursday, or maybe that Friday or that Wednesday, preferably the Friday.
Well, we should be kind of okay, because obviously this is the first iteration of this next step in the process. So we're spending a fair bit of time going over this one letter and getting this right, which should then mean that the others should be much more straightforward to sort out because we know what we're supposed to be doing.
Okay. Well, you are the pro.
Right, so Aislenn's asking, does it matter if the checkers don't match up? No. The key is making sure that your UV maps or the sections are all correctly proportioned relative to one another. So that would mean that if somebody drew a 1 pixel line, let's say for the sake of argument you drew a 1 pixel line around the perimeter of the upright of the L. So long as you've got the proportions right, it doesn't matter how the UV map is laid out, because all they would need to do then is just match up. I mean, it'll take a bit of guesswork to sort of figure out where the alignments are, but once you've got your alignment set up, because the UV map sections are all the same proportion to one another, it should wrap around without too many issues.
Okay.
So that was just answering Aislenn's question about the aligning the checkers. So no, it doesn't matter about the checkers being lined up. All that matters is that the UV map the UV map sections are all in proportion with one another. Right. So on the left hand side, move the mouse over to the left. Press the N key, N for Nigel.
Pressed it. Press it again. I didn't see anything happen.
Yeah, I didn't see anything happen.
Are we in the right mode or selection?
Should be. If your mouse is over the
click on it and then do N. There we go.
There we go. That's it. Right. So zoom in a little closer, just so that you can see what's what.
Okay.
Right. So bottom right of that section of that half of the screen, you can just about see 4 buttons. One of them that's selected is blue with some little dots. So bottom right, that's it. So if you move the mouse, there are 4 buttons there, but one of them is the 4th, which is on the far right, is slightly obscured by the split in the screen.
Are we talking about this here or to the right?
That's right. So if you move the mouse over to the right,
okay.
So that's vertex selection. So if you move the mouse to the right, you've got edge selection.
Okay. I'm just looking at what pops up here. This looks like vertex
Yeah,
selection mode.
yeah. So move the mouse to the right to the next button on the right. That's edge selection. Move it again to the right. That's face selection, and then just about if you move it to the right a little bit more, you've got UV selections.
Island?
Yep, left click that.
Oh, okay.
Now you can left click the individual segments that you can see that are over the texture.
Talking about over here or
Yes,
left
yeah,
side?
on the left hand side. We're doing everything in the UV image editor now, which is on the left. So if you right click one of the L sections.
Like maybe here?
On the left side of your screen.
Okay, this is...
Hang on, there's a delay.
Here.
There's a delay.
Okay. I did move over to the right. Maybe it lagged a little. Maybe it's showing on Zoom.
No, it's there's a delay on Zoom for some reason. So I tried minimizing Zoom and then, doing the trick that you do.
Right. Eight minutes and counting, sir. Someone should put the clock on and have a timer go off.
Yeah, the Jeopardy music.
No pressure.
So if you just wiggle your mouse around a bit so that I can see whether it's...
See it?
Yeah, so there we go, that's okay. Right, so right click one of the L's on the left there.
Right, so here we're talking about, yeah? Because...
Holy potatoes, that is a delay. I don't know what's going on.
Oh. It's interesting.
Right, so move your mouse now. Just move the mouse. Don't do anything else other than moving the mouse.
Yeah. You seeing it? Wow, that must be really slow if you're not seeing it.
No, that is okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, this might be a good place to, because we might not have enough time to do what we need to do. So save the file.
When in doubt, save the file, people. You never know. All right, number 15 is saved. I think there's more versions than the pumpkin patch.
Yes,
but I have
it is. Yes, and we haven't even got to the other three letters yet.
Yeah, we're more paranoid now. I'm going to stop sharing screen, by the way. Yeah, so thanks for the tutorial. Again, if we need another day next week, we can talk about it, but we've got Tuesday and Thursday of next week before we technically want to be done with this. If we need another day, Friday or Wednesday could work.
So when do we need to be done with this?
It's it's early February. It's the 1st or the 2nd here. It looks like the 1st. So we have 2 more classes, right? So this is when we want to be done to give them time. I mean, unless we want to push it to the 6th and think that's enough time, but I don't know. That's one.
Yeah. No, well,
if we're close, we can do another day, right? Like a Wednesday or a Friday of next week.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
I was going to suggest cheating, and you just sending me the file and I'd do it, but that is cheating.
Yeah. If we're going to say that, you should turn off.
I didn't say that.
Wink, wink.
You didn't hear that from me.
Wink, wink. Yeah. So, yeah, I think that should be fine. But anyway, I have to. Normally, I can stay later, but this particular.
But yeah, so Shannon's got to leave quite sort of pronto today, so this would be a good point to end the stream.
We had some mini emergencies come up as so I need to take care of those things.
Yeah.
Including the the announcement for the 1099s and the 1042s. Though the 1042 details are not out yet per the it's in the discussions, the
what?
content creator.
Just an update. For the credits stuff. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. But the 1042 stuff that's still being worked out, but the 1099s are there's details about that. So
Right.
that and a few other things, but that one got handled just before I got on here. So, okay, cool. Well, I will talk to you later. Thanks to everyone for showing up.
Yep.
Gotta go do things now. Take care.
All right then. Until the next stream, which should be next Tuesday. Yep. So next Tuesday. All right. Thanks for stopping by, everyone. It's been
thank you.
It's been fun with the delays. So we shall see you on Tuesday. Bye for now.